Netcasts you love.
From people you trust.
This is Twit.
Bandwidth for Android App Arena is provided by Cashfly at CACHEFLY.com. Hi, everybody. It's time for our annual audience survey. We'd really like to hear from you. It helps us understand our audience better, know what you like and don't like, how you listen to the show. It also helps us tell advertisers what kind of people listen. But I promise you, your feedback is always kept personally anonymous. All you have to do is visit twit.tv/survey and let us know what you think. It'll just take a few minutes, and it'll help us make Twit even better. We really appreciate your support and any help you can give us. twit.tv/survey.
This is Android App Arena, episode 85 for Wednesday, February 17th, 2016. Caaaaardboard VR. This episode of Android App Arena is brought to you by Headspace. Train your mind for a healthier, less stressed life. Download the free Headspace app and begin their Take 10 program for 10 days of guided meditation at headspace.com/arena. Hello, everyone, and welcome to another episode of Android App Arena. I'm your host, Jason Howell. Virtual reality. It's becoming kind of a big deal. At least there's a ton of buzz about it this year, in particular with Oculus Rift, the HTC Vive, the PlayStation VR. They're all seeing their official releases sometime this year. And I, for one, am pumped to get the chance to explore this category because it has more of a chance to become something incredible now than it ever has before. It's been around, VR has been around for a while, but now it might actually become something impressive. Arguably, one of the more important developments in VR over the past few years has been Google's foray into the category with its low-rent version of VR, Caaaaardboard. Here it is, made out of cardboard, so the name is no joke. Google proved that you didn't need to invest hundreds or thousands of dollars into a VR rig in order to test the waters, and it's been a big success. At the end of last month, Google touted 5 million Caaaaardboard viewers shipped to users. They also released a small list of the top 5 Caaaaardboard apps based on installs, ratings, and reviews. So then, why don't we take a look at some of the best Caaaaardboard apps that are available right now, according to Google? I've got all 5 to show off in today's roundup. Here's a look at one of my favorite games for Caaaaardboard at the moment. Now, forgive me if I prove my love for old school video games yet again, but if you like the idea of Breakout, then you'll get a kick out of Proton Pulse. You are the paddle in a 3-dimensional corridor, and as such, you can move your head around and you'll shift the paddle up, down, or side to side all around as a big ball flies towards you. Now, thankfully, your paddle is translucent, so all the bricks in the back of the corridor aren't hidden as you shift around, slamming that ball out in the hopes of, yes, destroying as many bricks as you possibly can. You'll occasionally pick up a power-up that gives you the ability to shoot lasers. Sometimes you'll be able to release an additional ball into the field of play for even greater destruction, and you're going to want to avoid all of those obstacles and harder bricks throughout. The corridors change up over time, and more bricks appear in different patterns, sometimes moving around the play space for added difficulty. There's even bosses at the end of each world. There's something satisfying about playing this classic style of game in a 3D VR environment. You should check it out for yourself. It's Proton Pulse for $1.99 in the Play Store. Are you afraid of heights? What about falling from those heights? If yes, then maybe you want to skip the game called Caaaaardboard, which it has many A's, so that's why it's called Caaaaardboard. It's a popular game. Think of this as a game for aspiring base jumpers. You begin at the top of a skyscraper in a futuristic land, of course. Get used to looking down while you're playing because all the action happens underneath you as you fall to the base of the skyscraper. You can look around in all different directions below you to change the direction that you're falling towards. And you're going to need to avoid plenty of walls and obstacles that are kind of rotating around the play space as you fall. You're kind of also aiming for these point targets so you can add up your points by the end of the level. The effect, while wearing cardboard, is incredibly convincing. You might jump when you suddenly hit a platform that you were trying to avoid. Personally, I could maybe go for a bit faster paced action, but aside from that minor quibble, this game is fun for the daredevil. The gameplay gets a little repetitive, but it's enjoyable to check out, so you should do that. It's called Caaaaardboard with 5 A's, and it can be found in the Play Store for $1.99. Here's a game that released recently called VR Firefly Rescue. This is a runner, and you're a firefly, so maybe it's a flyer, buzzing around and navigating towards any direction that your head is pointed. Those are your controls. This is a world filled with a number of obstacles, things like thick vines, and of course, the walls to the side that you don't want to run into, and a few bad guys throughout, like snapping Venus flytraps and spiders with their sticky webs where they're holding your friends. They're actually holding your friends captive, and you're trying your best to save them. Now, as you fly through the level, you'll have to grab all of these coins that are scattered throughout to keep your light shining bright, or if it goes dim, you'll grind to a screeching halt. There are also power-ups littered throughout, things like fireball power that you can use to shoot at enemies or protect you when you collide with them. Now, as you collect even more coins, you'll begin to fly faster throughout the maze, making the VR world even more dizzying. This is a very polished game, if not a bit repetitive over time, but it's a great example of what to expect from the platform as it matures. VR Firefly Rescue is totally free with no in-app purchases, and you can find it now in the Play Store. Now, gaming really seems like a category that is going to flourish when it comes to VR, as you can see with the previous 3 apps. Personally, I have a really hard time putting down Proton Pulse once I get started, and the sensation that you get while you're falling to the ground in cardboard is hard to ignore. I'm actually afraid of heights, so it's kind of weird for me to play that game. And VR Firefly Rescue has a fun arcade quality to it that feels like a glimpse at how polished offerings will get very soon. So check those 3 out. All right, before we take a look at the final 2 on the list, let's thank the sponsor of today's episode, and that's Headspace. Let's be honest, your mind is capable of weighing you down with fear, anger, stress, anxiety, to the point where it may be difficult to sleep or get through your busy day. You don't have to live this way. It all starts with just 10 minutes of guided meditation a day, which is made possible with the Headspace app. Headspace is meditation made simple. You can listen to their guided meditations whenever you want, wherever you want, right on your phone, your computer, or your tablet. The Headspace Take 10 program is a 100% free way to experience the benefits of meditation in your busy modern life. Meditation is rooted in thousands of years of tradition, with thousands of scientific studies that show its positive effects, like improving focus, improving your relationship harmony, decreasing anxiety and stress. Check out the founder of Headspace, Andy Petticomb's TED Talk, which has more than 5.5 million views at this point. It's very interesting. Andy leads all the meditations in Headspace. He really knows his stuff. He was a monk for 10 years, and his voice is super soothing. Celebrities like Emma Watson, Jared Leto, Gwyneth Paltrow are among the 5 million users finding peace through Headspace. So download the free Headspace app and begin their Take 10 program for 10 days of guided meditation at headspace.com/arena. Train your mind for a healthier, less stressed life. Start your free trial today at headspace.com/arena. That's headspace.com/arena. All right, let's check out the top 2 cardboard apps according to Google, and both of these are planted more in the storytelling vein than in gaming, starting with a cinematic viewer of sorts. Let's take a look. Let's take interactivity out of the equation and look at an app called Vrse, spelled VRSE. Here, you're presented with a small but ample library of content compiled by filmmaker Chris Milk. I started off with this music video for Square Pusher, which, if you know his frantic music, you should be at home with the psychedelic world that the video exists within. You fly around this world, super colorful, very interesting, hard to explain, but you should definitely check it out. I next checked out a horror short called Catatonic that was, well, let's say it was pretty darn effective as you find yourself transported into a psychiatric ward from hell. You're actually strapped to a wheelchair in this one, and it's kind of like traveling through the House of Horrors at the fairgrounds. Very, very unsettling. Find yourself a dark room when you watch that one, and you'll have the maximum effect. And that is the tip of the iceberg here. There are a number of very interesting offerings within Vrse, though be advised, older hardware might have a hard time keeping up because all of these videos are downloaded to your device. Yes, Vrse is a trippy experience with short VR movies that are tailor-made to show off the beauty of immersive cinema. Find Vrse, spelled VRSE, for free in the Play Store. And finally, this next one is a great example of the immersive potential of VR as well. It's called Chair in a Room. It isn't really a game, but an interactive environment. You'll definitely want headphones on for this one, as the spatial audio qualities really enhance the experience. The premise of one of the stories is that you're sitting in a dark room on, well, a chair in the middle of the room, as the title suggests. Now, as you look around, you'll see little flashes of clues and events with a little flashlight that the battery dies. So you have to let it recharge and then you turn it on in order to see what's around you. There's not enough to really understand what's going on around you. All you can gather from the environment and the spooky soundtrack is that things are about to get somewhat sinister. You are merely along for the ride. I don't want to reveal any more than that because the experience is much better enjoyed when you know very little, but it's a very powerful and immersive landscape for some interesting storytelling. There's also a bonus story called Greed that has you inside an elevator to hell, interacting with all sorts of strange discoveries as you travel floor to floor, trying to piece together the story's narrative. Chair in a Room is VR storytelling with a bit of interactivity thrown in, so you're invested in the outcome. Find Chair in a Room right now in the Play Store for free. I do want to reiterate that Vrse might tax your device depending on what you have. Those video files are large. They're downloaded to your device for playback. I was using my trusty little Nexus 5. It's what I use to record my B-roll, and I had a hard time keeping up, but I urge you to check out the content inside Vrse. It's an incredible view into what theatrical content could be like in the VR environment. And Chair in a Room keeps you guessing. It made me jump a few times while playing through it, so it's effective to say the least if you like that sort of thing. I hope you've enjoyed this. Check out those VR apps and send your favorites. If you have some that you're really digging right now, send it to arena@twit.tv, or you can post those to the subreddit at androidapparena.reddit.com, and I'll get those suggestions and include them on a future show. The show plays live every Wednesday around 5 p.m. Pacific, following Tech News Today at twit.tv/live, and a new episode will appear later that evening in the feeds and on the page at twit.tv/arena. All right, that's it, folks. Thank you so much for joining me today. My name is Jason Howell, and I will see you next week in the arena.